Back when we reviewed the LG GeForce camera, it was evident that the performance was nothing short of great. A lot of samples proved this, but recently, after a lot of real-world testing during the IFA event in Berlin, we found that the G4 is not only brilliant, but is still one of the best smartphone cameras out there. Here are the reasons why. First, let's talk about raw performance. Here is a JPEG processed by the phone, and here is a JPEG processed from an uncompressed RAW file. Zooming in, you can see that the file processed from RAW has much finer detail compared to the mushy JPEG, and we were also able to correct the color balance closer to reality. Here is another example. In this extreme low light photo, the photo processed from RAW is able to show more detail in the shadows, and we were able to give it a flatter film look with a post-processing that certainly is not possible with just a JPEG. In all these challenging low light conditions, we can see that the manually processed images from RAW are always richer in detail and leave a lot of room for manipulation, which is great, especially for a smartphone camera. Also, all of these are low light photos enabled by a really fast f1.8 aperture lens. One of the other advantages of f1.8 aperture is shallow depth of field. In this photo, even if the subject is not at macro distances, there is a shallow bokeh that nicely separates it from the rest of the photo. When you get closer, the depth of field is shallower, so you get a really milky bokeh that is usually seen only in cameras with bigger sensors. Talking of sensors, the laser autofocus unit definitely deserves a mention here because it helps a lot in macro and makes focusing really easy. Also easy for the LG G4 is to take pictures in HDR without breaking a sweat. The powerful Snapdragon 808 processor inside the phone lets the camera take multiple pictures with different exposures in quick succession and merge them to create pictures like these with wide dynamic range in milliseconds. The whole process happens so fast that you miss it completely, but looking at these pictures, there is no reason not to keep the HDR on. High dynamic range makes sure that you get evenly distributed light in highlights and shadows in both harsh and relatively easier scenarios, so we ended up always keeping it on. And last but not the least, the GeForce 4K video. As you can see here, the quality at about 30 Mbps of bitrate is not too shabby, and it retains detail quite well even after zooming in like shown here. Also, the footage is steady even when handheld after zooming in thanks to optical image stabilization, which has been a recurring feature these days. So a combination of all these features and the resulting performance is why we think the LG G4 has easily one of the best smartphone cameras out there. You can download all the full res camera samples with the links in the description below and examine them at your own pace. But here's the fact. If you're looking for a great camera that you can have with you all the time, the LG G4 should feature high on your list of options. So that's about it for the video. Do hit the like button if you like this and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching.